Hi, this video I'm making for Joe Rogan. I just watched the whole video, the podcast of Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore. Great video. Really enjoyed it. A lot of information there. But I was a little bit troubled about some of the things Joe said about gender, specifically about feminism and masculinity. So I wanted to put out some facts and then later on in the video put out some conspiracies that maybe you can discuss. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the physical bodies of men and women. I'm going to make a statement, but I want to have some few details before I make the statement, just so you don't close your mind before you hear it. In a man's body and a woman's body, the breasts are exactly the same. It's just that the mammary glands are undeveloped in the man and they're developed in the woman. Also, the fat responds differently in the women than it does in the man, but there have been cases of men lactating, so different levels of development of the mammary glands. Next, talk about the vagina. The vagina, women of course have one, but there is also one in men. And to explain this is the best way is to talk about when you come of age as a man. What do we say? We say our balls drop, right? The balls drop because when you're young and before you're creating semen, you don't need the cooler temperatures for your balls, but when you come of age, you do. So the semen is being developed, so the balls drop. But where do they drop from? Where have they been all this time? They've been tucked up in your vagina. That's why it's easier to do a sex change from man to woman than it is to woman to man. Next, let's talk about the penis. That's the biggest thing. Guys say, oh, I got a dick. She doesn't have a dick. Well, the clitoris is nothing but a penis that is still separated from the urethra. In the development stage of a child, the urethra and the penis are very close together. And if the penis is developed, the urethra becomes one with the penis, and obviously that's why we pee through our dicks. If the urethra doesn't develop, it remains as a clitoris and a separate urethra. But as you know, in women, clitorises are all different sizes, depending on how much testosterone and other chemicals they received in the uterus during their early development. And then last but not least, let's talk about the ovaries. The ovaries. You've heard the word gonad, right? Gonad's the joking term we all use, but gonad is actually something that every embryo has while you're inside the womb. You develop gonads, and then when you get one chemical, they turn to ovaries. When you get another chemical, they turn to balls. Oh, there is one more, my favorite, my personal favorite, the hymen. All this time we've been breaking hymens as men. We think, oh, a virgin, they're going to break the hymen, right? Well, this is my theory, and I've never even heard from a doctor, but the hymen is nothing more than the ball sack. As the penis develops, the hymen moves forward just like the urethra does to join the penis, and there is a small skin lining there covering what would be a vagina where the balls are hidden until you come of age. And then as you come of age, the balls drop out, and there you have your ball sack. If you look at the hymen, it's not a pure piece of skin. It's more like this, with the sewn down the middle, and some of them even have a gap. They have to have a gap, otherwise women couldn't bleed. They couldn't menstruate. A lot of men think that it's a pure coat of skin. It's not. It's more like, they say it's more like a rainbow, or they use lots of pretty words for it, but if you look at it closely, when that develops, it simply closes up. You still got that rib there. You ever wonder why you had that rib of skin between your two balls? That's because that's the hymen. So all this time, as we think we're having sex with virgins and we're busting a hymen, we're really only busting through a ball sack. So there are the facts about the human body between a man and a woman. My statement to you is this: men and women are exactly the same physically. The only differences are chemicals introduced in the development stage of a fetus to determine their sexual function. That's it, sexual function. Now, emotional differences between men and women. It's all society. in different societies, they develop differently. So the way that men and women are different is completely chemical and society. There's no physical difference between a man and a woman. Now that I got that point across, let's talk about our roles as men and women and how twisted and developed they've become. Here's where the conspiracy theory comes in. In the real old times, when every religion was about the moon, all the gods were female. It wasn't until Abraham came across Egypt and noticed the Egyptians and the power they held over their people with a male god that the religions of the West were developed, and it was all male-based religions. Before that time, everyone developed gods were women, obviously, because women produced children. That was the magic in them. That's also why we have the term witches, because there's a magic about creating a being, especially even 200 years ago when we had no idea about the human body. So that's my input to you. I want you to think carefully now about how you say that there is no such thing as a feminist man, or there is no such thing as a masculine woman. I know you didn't exactly say those words, but the idea is this. When you're developing in the womb, the chemicals make your body unique. Hence, the different sizes of the penises, the different sizes of the breasts, the different sizes of the clitoris. Another side conspiracy theory is a story about Muhammad and why they cut the clitorises off of women. My personal belief is that one day somebody walked into Muhammad's tent and said, "Hey, take a look at my wife. She's got a 1-inch clit. What's up with that? God said he made men and women." Well, Muhammad's obvious response was, well, we can't have women walking around here with dicks, so let's cut it off. Matter of fact, let's cut all the dicks off. I don't like clitorises, Muhammad says. I love clitorises. Muhammad says he doesn't like them, cut them all off. So here today, we've had 1 billion women with their clitorises cut off, all because they didn't understand why they're different sizes. So again, bringing it back to your mindset right now, what do you believe a man and a woman is? Why do you believe we're different species? Why do you believe we're so different? We're exactly the same. Chemically, in the body of the mother, we produce a sexual function. Society does the rest once we come out. So I hope you enjoyed it, Joe. Keep up the good work. I love your shows. You're a good-hearted person with an open mind. Love to hear your comments about this. Love to hear all of Joe's viewers' comments about this. Not monetizing this video, just out to teach. Thank you.